Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're tackling a read an academic passage task, which is a cornerstone of the TOEFL reading section. We'll be deconstructing a complex text together to master the logic needed for a top score. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to subscribe to myTOEFL for more expert strategies. Let's keep building your confidence for test day together. The psychology of the flow state. The title, The Psychology of the Flow State, immediately signals that we will be exploring a mental phenomenon from a scientific perspective. Identifying the flow state as the central topic helps you prime your brain for a discussion on focus and mental performance. The concept of flow, often described as being in the zone, is a psychological state characterized by complete immersion in an activity. This sentence provides the foundational definition of the topic, using the phrase complete immersion to explain what flow actually feels like. It establishes a clear starting point for the reader by linking a common idiom, in the zone, to a formal psychological state. First identified by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, this phenomenon occurs when an individual's specific skill level perfectly matches the difficulty of the task at hand. And wanting to assation, the author introduces the origin of the term and the specific conditions required for it to manifest. The phrase perfectly matches is crucial because it highlights the necessary balance between a person's skill level and the difficulty of their task. If a task is too easy, the person becomes bored, whereas a task that is too difficult leads to intense anxiety and frustration. B4 author uses a contrast here to show the boundaries of this state, noting that a lack of challenge leads to being bored while too much leads to anxiety. Notice the use of whereas to signal this logical shift between two negative extremes. The flow state exists in a narrow corridor between these two extremes, providing a sense of effortless control and deep focus that enhances performance. Beautifully summarizes the ideal zone as a narrow corridor that exists between boredom and stress. The phrase effortless control suggests that while the task is hard, the person's deep focus makes the performance feel smooth. Researchers have observed this state in diverse professionals, including elite athletes, classical musicians, and surgeons, who must perform high-stakes tasks with absolute precision. To ground the theory in reality, the author lists diverse professionals like surgeons and elite athletes as examples. This shows that the state isn't just for hobbyists, but is essential for those who must perform with absolute precision. When an individual enters a state of flow, their sense of self-consciousness begins to the limitations of the immediate environment. As we move into the second paragraph, the focus shifts to the internal experience, specifically how one can transcend their surroundings. This suggests a movement beyond normal limitations, marking a deeper level of mental engagement. This deep level of concentration causes the person to lose track of time, as their brain becomes fully occupied with the complex demands of the current moment. This sentence explains the common experience of losing track of time during intense focus. It attributes this to the brain being fully occupied, which prevents the person from processing external cues like the passing minutes. Activities that induce flow are often described as autotelic, meaning they are inherently and intrinsically rewarding regardless of any external outcome or reward. The term autotelic is introduced here as a key academic concept, meaning the activity is intrinsically rewarding. This clarifies that the motivation comes from the activity itself rather than an external outcome. Neurobiological studies indicate that during flow, certain areas of the prefrontal cortex temporarily deactivate, reducing the internal critic that often hampers creative expression. The author provides a neurobiological explanation, mentioning how parts of the brain temporarily deactivate to aid focus. By silencing the internal critic, the person can achieve higher levels of creative expression. During this experience, the boundary between the person and the activity disappears, leading to a profound sense of unity and total clarity in decision-making. The paragraph concludes by describing a state of unity where the boundary between the self and the task disappears. This leads to total clarity, allowing for accurate decision-making without hesitation. Research in positive psychology suggests that frequent experiences of flow are closely linked to long-term happiness and higher levels of professional success. The final paragraph shifts to the long-term benefits, linking flow to happiness and professional success. This transition into positive psychology suggests that flow is not just a momentary peak, but a path to a better life. By regularly engaging in challenging but achievable goals, individuals can improve their cognitive resilience and strengthen their overall mental health. This sentence offers practical advice on building cognitive resilience through challenging but achievable goals. It emphasizes that mental health can be strengthened by regularly seeking out these optimal experiences. Furthermore, the ability to achieve flow in creative or scientific fields often leads to greater innovation and technical mastery over time. BS furthermore signals an additional benefit, specifically in creative or scientific fields. The text argues that repeated flow leads to technical mastery, suggesting it is the engine behind innovation. While the state is temporary, its cumulative impact on a person's motivation and sense of accomplishment provides a powerful foundation for a meaningful and productive life. The passage ends on an encouraging note, stating that the cumulative impact of these states creates a meaningful and productive life. Even though flow is temporary, its lasting effect on motivation is what truly matters. What is the passage mainly about? This is a main idea question, asking us to identify the primary focus of the entire passage. We need to find a choice that covers both the characteristics and the benefits mentioned across all 3 paragraphs. Now, keeping this in mind, let's evaluate our options. Let's take a closer look at option A. The biological triggers of chronic boredom in the workplace. While the text mentions being bored in paragraph 1, it is used only as a contrast to flow, not as the main subject of chronic boredom. Therefore, this option is too narrow and misses the main point. Let's eliminate it. Now, let's examine option B. The negative effects of high-stakes pressure on surgeons. The passage mentions surgeons as an example of people who experience flow, but it doesn't focus on negative effects or pressure. In fact, flow is described as a positive state of effortless control, so this is a distractor. Here's option C. Let's break it down. The life history of psychologist myTOEFL Csikszentmihalyi. Although myTOEFL Csikszentmihalyi is credited with identifying the concept, the passage is about the phenomenon itself, not his personal life history. This is a common TOEFL trap where a minor detail is used to distract you. Finally, let's evaluate option D. The characteristics and benefits of the flow state. This choice perfectly captures the scope of the text, which defines the characteristics of flow in the first 2 paragraphs and discusses its benefits in the third. This is our strongest candidate. The correct answer to this question is option D, since it encompasses the entire scope of the passage, from the definition of the flow state to its long-term advantages. The word, in paragraph 2, is closest in meaning to. This is a vocabulary, in-context question focused on the word transcend. We need to look at how it's used in paragraph 2 to describe moving beyond limitations. Now, keeping this in mind, let's evaluate our options. Let's take a closer look at option A. Create. While flow can help someone create things, the word transcend in this context refers to a relationship with limitations, not the act of making something. It doesn't fit the sentence structure well. Now, let's examine option B. Ignore. While a person in flow might ignore their environment, transcend implies a more profound sense of rising above or going beyond limitations. It is a more powerful and specific word than just ignoring. Here's option C. Let's break it down. Describe. The word describe means to give an account of something, which makes no sense in the context of a sense of self-consciousness interacting with limitations. We can safely eliminate this. Finally, let's evaluate option D as surpass. To surpass means to go beyond or exceed, which perfectly matches how self-consciousness moves past the limitations of the environment during flow. This is the most accurate synonym. Therefore, the correct answer is option D, because surpass accurately reflects the meaning of transcend as going beyond the limitations of the immediate surroundings. According to paragraph 2, why are some activities described as autotelic? This question asks for a specific detail from paragraph 2 regarding the term autotelic. We need to find the definition provided in the text for why these activities are rewarding. Now, keeping this in mind, let's evaluate our options. Let's take a closer look at option A. They require external rewards to be enjoyable. This option actually says the opposite of the text, which states that autotelic activities are rewarding regardless of any external rewards. This is a direct contradiction of the passage's definition. Now, let's examine option B. They are only performed by professional musicians. The passage mentions musicians as people who experience flow, but it never suggests that autotelic activities are only performed by them. This is an overgeneralization that we should eliminate. Here's option C. Let's break it down. They are satisfying to perform for their own sake. The text defines autotelic as being intrinsically rewarding, meaning the activity is satisfying for its own sake. This matches the passage's explanation perfectly. Finally, let's evaluate option D. They result in immediate financial or social gain. Paragraph 2 explicitly states that autotelic activities are rewarding regardless of external outcome, which would include financial or social gain. This option is the opposite of the correct definition. The correct answer to this question is option C, since the passage defines autotelic as activities that are intrinsically rewarding without needing external validation. According to the passage, all of the following are characteristics of flow except. This is an except question, which means 3 of these are true characteristics of flow mentioned in the text, and 1 is not. We need to find the anxiety or boredom triggers mentioned in paragraph 1. Now, keeping this in mind, let's evaluate our options. Let's take a closer look at option A. A high level of anxiety caused by the difficulty of the task. According to paragraph 1, anxiety happens when a task is too difficult, which is the opposite of the flow state. Flow occurs when skills and difficulty are balanced, so this is the incorrect characteristic we are looking for. Now, let's examine option B. A balance between the difficulty of a task and skill level. The text states that flow occurs when skill level perfectly matches the difficulty of the task. Since this is a true characteristic of flow, it is not our answer for an except question. Here's option C. Let's break it down. A deactivation of certain areas of the prefrontal cortex. Paragraph 2 mentions that parts of the prefrontal cortex will temporarily deactivate during flow. Because this is mentioned as a real feature, we must eliminate it. Finally, let's evaluate option D. A distorted perception of how much time has passed. The passage notes that deep concentration causes a person to lose track of time, which is a distorted perception. Since this is a true detail from the text, it is not the correct answer. Therefore, the correct answer is option A, because the passage states that anxiety is a result of a task being too difficult, which prevents the flow state rather than characterizing it. What is the relationship between paragraph 1 and paragraph 2? This question asks us to identify how paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 work together. Paragraph 1 introduces the concept and its definition, while paragraph 2 goes deeper into the mental and neurobiological details. Now, keeping this in mind, let's evaluate our options. Let's take a closer look at option A. Paragraph 2 describes a physical problem and paragraph 1 offers a solution. Paragraph 2 does not describe a physical problem, nor does paragraph 1 offer a solution. Both paragraphs describe a positive psychological state, so this logical relationship is incorrect. Now, let's examine option B. Paragraph 2 provides evidence that contradicts the definition in paragraph 1. Paragraph 2 actually supports and expands upon the definition in paragraph 1 rather than providing evidence that contradicts it. These paragraphs are in agreement, not in conflict. Here's option C. Let's break it down. Paragraph 1 provides a history, and paragraph 2 lists the careers that avoid flow. While paragraph 1 mentions some professionals, it doesn't provide a history, and paragraph 2 certainly doesn't list careers that avoid flow. This option misrepresents the content of both sections. Finally, let's evaluate option D. Paragraph 1 defines the concept, while paragraph 2 describes its mental effects. This option accurately reflects the structure. Paragraph 1 defines the concept of flow, and paragraph 2 explains its mental effects, such as losing track of time and the sense of unity. This is the correct relationship. The correct answer to this question is option D, since paragraph 1 establishes the definition of flow and paragraph 2 explores the specific mental effects and internal experiences associated with it. B or sentence all in TOEFL reading. Always focus on the logical transitions between paragraphs. Practice identifying the main idea by looking for recurring themes across the entire text, and pay close attention to how specific terms are defined in context. Mastering these connections will help you navigate even the most complex academic passages with ease.